Upon seeing the unhappy Noah, Roswitha felt somewhat at a loss. She gently waved her hand and encouraged her with a rusty tone. "Ah, there's no need to apologize. You're already quite impressive." Muin walked towards Noah and held her hand. She was like a little sun, warming Noah's lost heart with a positive tone. Mom is right. In Muin's heart, Noah is the best. However, Noah's expression still showed a hint of unhappiness. Leon looked over her report card carefully. He turned his head and silently shook his head as he saw the way Roswitha and Muin comforted her. These two people, one is not very good at expressing emotions, and the other is too full of emotions. It's still the old father who has to do it. He took Noah's all-around physical fitness test transcript and analyzed the data with her. Oh, running, bench pressing, pull-up. These are basic physical training, and your peers are all 4 or 5-year-old young dragons. It's normal to have weaker physical fitness than them. Leon flipped over to the back of her transcript and pointed to the data in the top red box with his finger. This column reads, Practical Training. Noah won a total of 9 games, lost 1 game, and drew 0 games. Her winning rate is 90%, ranking first in single item ranking. He said to her seriously, "But you see, in your practical training, you have won 9 out of 10 games, which is the highest winning rate in the whole class. This means that although you may not be as strong as those brats, you are far ahead in terms of strategy and combat skills. So you don't have to dwell too much on this score. You will have plenty of opportunities to surpass them in the future." After listening to his analysis, Noah was still not satisfied with her grades. She frowned and muttered softly, "I heard from Mom that when you were in school, you always got first place in every subject." Leon put down her transcript. He lowered his eyebrows and looked down, as if recalling things from when he first started school. "Actually, when I first started school, I wasn't the first place either. I later achieved first place through hard work and perseverance." He looked at her with a smile and encouraged her again not to give up. "You still have a lot of time. Don't let one mistake dampen your morale. I believe you can do better." After listening to Leon's encouragement, Noah seemed to have the courage again. She nodded and replied to Leon with a serious expression. I got it." At this moment, Muin walked forward with a curious expression and asked Leon and Roswitha a question. They both noticed Muin and turned to look at her. "Dad is so powerful. If Dad and Mom fight, who will win?" Upon hearing this question, both Leon and Roswitha patted their chests with their hands and confidently told her, "It's me." Realizing that the other party was all thinking they would win, the expressions on Leon and Roswitha's faces became unhappy. They all looked at each other with great dissatisfaction. "Huh?" Leon smiled confidently. He straightened his chest and proudly pointed his finger at himself, talking about his past honors at school. "In my previous live practice, whether it was unarmed combat or weapon and magic battles, no one was a match for me. Undoubtedly, I am the most powerful." Roswitha snorted softly, indicating that she didn't care about the honor Leon mentioned. She crossed her hands in front of her chest and said irritably to him, "Although I didn't receive as many honors as you in academy, I only won the crucial game." Leon and Roswitha neither agree with each other. They approached and glared fiercely at each other. Their eyes locked with such intensity. It felt as if sparks were about to fly. Roswitha sneered and mocked him. "Didn't you marry me back then because you never win me?" Leon was also unwilling to be outdone. He gritted his teeth and said, "It's obvious that you didn't win against me. And that's why you have two lovely daughters, Muin and Noah." Seeing that they couldn't come to a conclusion from their argument, Leon and Roswitha headed toward the door together. They decided to go out together and have a fight to determine the winner. Roswitha said impatiently to him, "Well, why don't we go out and have a fight?" Leon rolled his sleeves up as he walked away, full of energy and wanting to fight her. "Let's go. I've been wanting to have a fight with you for a long time." Noah watched her parents walk out the door in a rage and couldn't help but feel a little speechless by their behavior. She didn't expect her parents to argue over who could win who. Muin watched as his parents' backs gradually drifted away. Her eyes suddenly lit up. She said to Noah with an expectant expression, "Are Dad and Mom going to fight?" Noah also became interested in the duel between her parents. She took Muin's hand and walked towards the door with her. "Let's follow up and take a look." Leon and Roswitha walked to the training ground. "The weather is very nice today, perfect for outdoor fight." They were all stretching their bodies and doing some warm-up exercises to prepare for the upcoming duel. Noah and Muin brought their favorite snacks and sat on the bench next to the training ground to watch. While eating popcorn, Muin turned her head and asked about Noah. Noah is also curious. Who is more powerful, Mom or Dad? Noah looked intently at Leon and Roswitha and replied to Muin in a calm tone. "Teacher said that watching more masters sparring would also help us improve our fighting skills." Roswitha rubbed her wrist and spoke softly to Leon. "Speaking of which, your body probably hasn't recovered enough to fight against the Dragon Queen yet, right?" Leon was doing lunge presses, warming up before a fight. He stared at her, and the tone was full of willingness to fight. "So what? There aren't many opportunities to fight with the Silver Dragon Queen. I'm going to make the most of it." However, there didn't seem to be much point in simply fighting. She lowered her head and thought for a moment, then suddenly came up with an idea. She made a suggestion to Leon with a relaxed expression. "Why don't we bet on something?" Leon looked at her with some alertness. "What do you want to bet on?" Roswitha smiled and looked seriously at him. "If you win, I won't touch you for a month. If I win, you have to meet one of my demands." Leon looked at her, struggling to think about her proposal in his mind. "Although I don't know what abnormal demands the she-dragon will make, as long as I win. I can easily take a month off. I dare not even think about it in my daily life." When Leon thought of not having to be in contact with Roswitha for a month, he secretly felt happy in his heart. This is a great comfort to both his body and spirit. He never imagined that his body would not be severely ravaged for a whole month. The angel in Leon's mind sounded the horn to him, as if celebrating in advance that he would be granted a holiday. For this hard-earned holiday, and to allow his body and mind to rest, Leon must win this duel. He looked firmly at Roswitha. "Okay, I accept this bet." knowing that Leon had accepted the bet. Ross with a no longer procrastinated. So, let's get started. They looked at each other. The duel is about to begin.
Hey! Have you heard about it? SF Light Novel is going to share a new comic. I will share a new comic next week. The name of this comic is The Blonde-Haired Villain. In Girl Overlord novel, also longs for happiness. I have already shared the relevant content of this comic in this video. You can click on this video to learn about the comic story and character information. If you are interested, you can subscribe to my channel and wait for the sharing of new comic. See you next week.